Welcome to Research Business Daily Report, made possible by RBDR's exclusive community at patreon.com. Please visit patreon.com/RBDR, particularly if you are a regular viewer of this video series. I'm Bob Lederer. You may have heard that my book, Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football, a 3-year research and writing project on my part, has been published by HarperCollins. Today I'm going to be making the first of 2 research-related presentations about the book. It'll be at the Corporate Researchers Conference in Orlando. For those of you who will not be down in Florida, I thought you might be interested in a synopsis of my keynote speech. Beyond Broadway Joe, for your information, is the story for the first time of the 44 players and 5 coaches whose efforts enabled Jets quarterback Joe Namath to make and back up his infamous guarantee that the Jets were going to win the 1969 Super Bowl game. My thoughts at CRC will delve into the research I discovered that the Jets management and the team had to undertake on its 6-year path to that tumultuous upset over the Baltimore Colts. The new ownership that took over the bankrupt franchise in 1963 first had to establish a presence in the New York market. No one knew who they were. There was 3 previous years of bad mismanagement by the previous owners when the team was known as the Titans. And to make things worse, in the New York market, there were the New York Giants, who were particularly participating in championship games year after year in those years. The Jets had to establish a viable brand that could earn the attention of fans as well as the media. The team had to find ways to successfully compete with the other AFL franchises, not to mention the rival National Football League and even the aforementioned Giants in particular. The Jet owners needed to identify and install leadership that could and would meet its goals of a championship within 5 years. Principal owner Sonny Werblin and general manager and coach Weeb Eubank filled those off-field and on-field roles. They then had to create a process for building the team, the personnel who would make up the franchise and make the team into a winner. And it began with players like Jerry Philbin, Ralph Baker, and Dave Herman, who are shown here. They and all the others helped reach management's and the Jets' coaches' aspirations. The team and its players had to find a way to mesh different personalities of many different players who had come in from all over the country. They had to operate as a functioning, collaborative, and supportive group. But the biggest challenge there happened to be getting Joe Namath to fit in with the rest of the team, because he had been granted a separate set of behavioral team rules. Maintaining morale was also a critical component in the Jets' eventual success, and I found that there was one driver who took care of that all by himself. His name was Curly Johnson. He was the punter, and he kept everyone loose with pranks and silly jokes, and nobody was free from being hit by Curly, and that included Namath and the Jets coach. The Jets did extensive off-season research about the health of its players, so it could plan for the upcoming season and well into the future. And one of the most important documents I found for the book was a surgeon's report to the Jets about the condition of Joe Namath's knees. What he basically said was, if you're going to go for a championship, do it sooner rather than later. We don't know how long Joe's going to be able to play. Management went so far as to, if you will excuse the expression, collude with several other teams in the American Football League. It shared salaries of all its starting personnel with 4 other teams, and so the 5 teams together knew what everybody on each of those rosters was making. It gave them quite a big benefit and advantage in negotiations with the players. The Jets did extensive off-season research about the players on its roster, including written profiles that detailed every one of their strengths and weaknesses, and year to year how much better they were getting in those areas. Once the season started, obsessing over every element in game film about the next week's opponent, as well as the performance of every Jets player, became paramount. And that led to detailed game plans that were designed to take advantages of the strengths and the weaknesses both of the Jet players and the opposition players, both on the offensive and defensive platoons where they resided. Maybe the weakest part of the Jets' research planning turned out to be plans for what to do as a celebration if the Jets won. After the Jets' unexpected victory over Baltimore, New York was ill-prepared to do anything. The Jets' best players had an all-star game to play in the week after the Super Bowl, so they weren't coming back to New York. And most of the other players went on vacation and had no plans to return to New York after the game. So a handful of the Jets had a low-key celebration of the football championship at the mayor's residence known as Gracie Mansion. If you've ever seen a ticker tape parade in New York that runs through what's called the Canyon of Heroes, well, you can realize that that was quite a come down. If you're interested in learning more about the book or purchasing it, we've created a website. It's beyondbroadwayjoe.com. You can visit. You can even order a copy there. That's your Research Business Daily Report. It's been made possible by members of our exclusive community on the crowdfunding platform known as patreon.com. RBDR is produced thanks to the interest and generosity of regular viewers like yourself. We always make it a point to acknowledge RBDR patrons, and today we're proud to thank InfoTools for their support. You can join our community by visiting patreon.com/RBDR, and you can select the level of patronage that suits you. I hope you have a great research day, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.